Once again, look at the answer choices first. Try to figure out what rules might be at play. Yes, we've got commas and whatnot, but the choice that interests me most is choice B, because a comma and a conjunction is pretty much only used to connect two sentences. So let's figure that out. If we have two sentences, we don't really have a choice. We kind of have to pick B regardless of anything else that's going on. So let's read it, and I'm going to pause right after the word war, because that comma is basically acting like a period here. So we're gonna stop there. We're gonna listen and see how it sounds. According to family lore, Edmund McElhaney decided to cultivate the Tabasco pepper seeds he received from a veteran of the Mexican-American War. Okay, yeah, I mean, feels like there's more information to happen, but grammatically, it's okay, right? He decided to cultivate the Tabasco pepper seeds he received from a veteran of the Mexican-American War. That's the sentence. The verb is decided, and the subject is Edwin McElhaney. So, seems good. So one sentence. Now, as I continue reading to see if there's a second sentence, I'm not going to bother with the word and. Remember, and is not really adding any content to the sentence. So the comma and the conjunction together are just basically serving as the period. So I'm going to start with the part after the and, the word after, and that would be, if that were a period, that would be the capital letter that would kind of start the next sentence. So let's see how that sounds. After experimenting with multiple recipes, he settled on the simple formula still used today. That's a sentence. That sounds great. So that's it. Done. We need to have a comma and a conjunction is the only option here that joins two complete sentences. The comma by itself is not enough to do that. The conjunction by itself is not enough to do that. And we need something. But again, their SAT is trying to trick us here, because if we go into this passage without thinking about the rules beforehand, I think a lot of these other choices sound great. Let me show you. According to family lore, Edmund McElhaney decided to cultivate the Tabasco pepper seeds he received from a veteran of the Mexican-American War after experimenting with multiple recipes. That's a perfectly valid way to rearrange these ideas. But that way is not available to us, because after recipes, we don't have a period, like I just kind of pretended there was, right? We have a comma attaching it to an extra clause, and that extra clause is a full sentence, and we can't use commas to attach full sentences to each other. So the only way to break these two sentences apart in a valid, legal, grammatical way is to have that comma in the conjunction here. Semicolon would have worked, period would have worked, but those are not available to us. But they know that if we're not thinking about those things and we just read it, it actually sounds much more natural to say he received these from a veteran of the Mexican-American War after experimenting with multiple recipes. That sounds better, right? So they're giving us this. It's a very common trap that they give us what I would call kind of like a flexible clause. It could either end sentence one or begin sentence two. And you might prefer to use it to end sentence one. But if the punctuation doesn't allow that option, then we have no choice. We have to let it begin sentence two, which is what it's really doing here. But, if you're going by instinct, you're going to fall into those traps. If you're following the rules and you use the answer choices to decide which rules are at play, you're going to get these questions right every time.